Back on Inside Tennessee, the prediction show of 2023 with Don, Susan, and my colleague John North. We appreciate you being with us on this first day of the new year. And this is where everything's on the table. We talk about the politician or the issue of the year that will dominate it. Let's talk about the winner of 2023 overall will be what or who, Susan?
I have a hard time calling him the winner, but honestly, the person that's going to dominate the news in 23 is going to be Donald Trump. I mean, Don just laid it out, whether he gets indicted or not. If he does, certainly he's going to be in the news. You're going to have the 30% of the Republican Party that totally owe loyalty. No, it's 30, believe me.
Maybe in this state.
Who will look at that as an affront to Donald Trump. They're going to be more loyal than ever. You're going to have riots and protests. And if that doesn't happen, if he just remains running for president, we're still going to have him, front and center for the whole year.
Don, okay. So, winner overall in 2023?
Sure. Zelensky, the leader of Ukraine. I think that Ukraine will find a way to end the war, win the war against Russia, and either gain back the territories they've lost in the recent incursion and possibly gain back some of the Crimean Peninsula and things they've lost previously. He really is going to come out of this well. He's just recently been here to the U.S. A lot of support. I mean, you're looking at a guy that's probably going to be considered for a lot of international acclaim and awards, and has done a pretty remarkable job leading the country in awful circumstances right now.
Susan, your loser overall for 2023 will be?
Can I say Donald Trump again?
Sure, yeah.
It will depend on what happens with him. I do think you're going to see the emergence of Ron DeSantis, possibly Mike Pompeo, Mike Pence, maybe Nikki Haley. You're going to see Tim Scott from South Carolina. You're going to see a lot of other folks that would like to be president that I think are going to come out and challenge Donald Trump. So I think 23 will be all about 24.
Don?
I'll go a little broader than within the boundaries of the U.S. I think in the year 2023, this year, we will see the end of Vladimir Putin's reign as head of Russia. I think the powers that be and the oligarchs of Russia and the other main political players are tired. He has really lost the days of him being able to take his shirt off and pose on a horse and win back the support of the people are gone. And I think this will be the end of Vladimir Putin one way or another.
We've talked people. What's the issue that dominates 2023 in your mind?
Well, I think it's what I just said. It's 23, what you're going to see is the emergence of the candidates, both on the Democrat Party and the Republican Party. If there's a challenge to Joe Biden, I think there will be, because I think it's sort of the little secret they don't talk about. I don't think most people think Joe Biden's capable of being president for 4 more years. And so you're going to see that begin to emerge to find some Democrats out there. You're certainly going to see Republicans, some of the ones I mentioned, they're going to emerge to challenge Donald Trump. And so 23 will be all about who is going to be president of the United States in 24.
Don?
To absolutely counter what Susan says, the continued surprise and competence in President Joe Biden. I said competence. I know that half of the country doesn't feel confident, but he has done really well, and he'll continue to do well, and he'll set up for 24 should he choose to run.
Don. You've done well up until now.
I called it in 2018 to be president, and you laughed at me, and look where we're at now.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
John, other things you think will dominate nationally across the world in 2023?
Well, to Don's point, from a global perspective, nothing is bigger than the future of Russia and the future of Europe, and actually the whole future of the globe, because that conflict is so significant. We will mark the 1-year mark of it in February, which is not that far away. It's been horrific for the globe on so many different levels. That is a big issue. Let's hope it doesn't get any worse than it already is.
Let's talk a little prediction. We only have a couple minutes left, but Tennessee football, is the record better in 2023 than it was this year, Susan?
Wow, we had a great record this year that no one predicted. You know, all of the sports talking heads were hoping for 8-4, 9-3, and my goodness, look at what happened. We've got a great coach. We've got a great QB, one we already have and one coming in this year, and Nico, the $8 million QB. I think it's going to be a great year. I think we're going to be competing for a national championship this year.
I think we're 2 years away, and I say that I look at the schedule next year. We're on the road at Alabama. We're on the road at Florida. We do get Georgia at home, but Georgia's the best team in the conference. I think it's going to be hard to match this year's record. Possible. I hope so. But I think we're 2 years away from really looking hard at a national championship.
All right. Well, we're going to leave the discussion there.
You don't get invited on any trips.
I used to. I hope I'm wrong on that one. That's for sure.
2023, the year that will be. We hope it's off to a good start for you already. And if you'd like to look at how these two rated the year in politics in 2022, you can head to our website, WBIR.com, the Inside Tennessee page. We always appreciate you joining us on Sunday morning. Again, Happy New Year. Have a great start, and we'll see you next week right here.